Emotions just want to be expressed. Thoughts just wants to be expressed. Feelings just wants to be expressed. Everything inside of you just wants to express. Yet the mind is trying to think, how am I going to say this? Does this make sense? How should I share it? Who should I share it with? Okay, I'm going to record this. Okay, how do I look? Where am I going to upload this? Who's going to watch it? Will they understand? There's so much noise. And the simple truth, your feelings, thoughts, emotions, they just want to be heard, they just want to be expressed, they just want to be acknowledged in their truest of forms. Not polished, not changed, not molded to fit someone else's idea, view, standard. So how can we express more? How can I express more? How can I be free when the mind is creating so many constructs of how things should be? And it's following the impulse, following the urge, following the charge, and express. At times, I might stumble upon words and it may not be pretty. And that's the thing that we need to let go of the most, is trying to mold ourselves into this pretty, cozy, fluffy something, and practice expressing ourselves in our truth, in the rawness of our truth. Truth is so refreshing. We're so accustomed to sugarcoat everything that truth doesn't come naturally, and now such a essential, primal thing to do has to be learned, which makes no sense. At the end of the day, the truth just wants to be heard. The feeling just wants to move through. The thought just wants to be released. The truth of our experience wants to be acknowledged and witnessed and heard. Yet we're so caught up in the mind's narrative that most often than not we're pushing it down, hiding it, ignoring it, pretending that it's not there. And it's always there, it never goes, it never leaves. This voice of truth, of guidance, of our purest intention is always there and is always nudging. But are we listening? Are we sensitive enough to even notice it? And that's so typical of me. And that's so typical of human beings. Whenever we're feeling something, to conceptualize it and generalize it as something out there that everyone is experiencing so we can relate. As opposed to really feeling into the feeling of this moment, and what is it in this moment that is alive and present in me. It was not to share and preach about how the world and life should be and my grandiose insights into my human experience. And it's almost a distraction of, I'll teach others what I need to learn. Disassociating from what's actually present for me in this moment. The truth just wants to be expressed. And now the limitation is, am I gonna post this online or not? To what extent can I be me and share me? Because if I know it's not gonna be posted, I can be as messy, as ugly, as raw, as random as I want to. But if it will be posted, I need to polish myself. I need to have a certain cadence and rhythm and flow of thoughts, and so it's interesting. How I want to present myself to the world as someone who has it all together. When the truth is, I do have everything together. It's just whenever I go too deep into my contemplations and analyzing that, it seems like maybe I don't have it all together. But the truth is, things come together and they fall apart. Then they come together and they fall apart again. And that's from a book that I read a while back. Those words stuck with me. Things come together and they fall apart. So sometimes I'm in complete check, and sometimes I'm so fucking apart that I'm like, where do I even begin gathering myself? And the truth is, sometimes we just need to flush things out first. Flush the mind stuff out until we can get to the essence. The essence and the truth of our experience. And the truth of my experience now, after flushing this all out, is that something got triggered in me and I couldn't pinpoint what it was, and that created unease. And I've soothed myself with chocolate. Oops. Thinking that I will come back and I will journal with my chocolate and I'll get to the bottom of it. So I'm unlike normal human beings. They feel something. What is normal? Unlike most human beings, they feel something and they just go past it. And for me, it's like none of the things that are flowing through me goes unchecked. I'm like, what was this feeling? What I was feeling there? What is this? Why am I feeling this? Why after this conversation? Why would this person? I just have such an sensitive inner radar that's scanning for any discrepancies of non-contentment. There you go, my overly high self-awareness from my emotional intelligence report. And too high of a self-expression in my emotional intelligence, which means I'm sharing this now and I'm overloading people with the information of the things that are happening inside of me, but they don't necessarily feel it inside of them. So they're just getting a little bit confused and overwhelmed and like, what is she talking about? Because I'm not feeling it. Being a human. Being a human. It's all about being a human. And so I thought I'll sit down and I'll write. And usually with the writing I can get to the bottom of this unidentified emotion. But instead I decided I will record. And as usual, my recording went into being a preacher and teaching as opposed to being with what's present. Being a human. Okay. Time to get back to life. Reality. Yeah. Now I'm just like, should I post it? Should I not? What is this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Beautiful mess.